What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the episode of Primetime Sports Podcast. Here we are at Faxon Park with the player of the game tonight. Big win for the Sports Emporium, 17-1. Had a 14-run third or fourth inning. I'm here with the player of the game, Steve Abrams. Great game on the mound. Only one run allowed, probably 3 or 4 strikeouts. You might have only allowed 3 or 4 hits. What went into your approach at the mound tonight against this team?
I was throwing them deep all night. I gave them a bunch of knuckleballs. These guys didn't know what was coming. They need a little more experience, but it's okay.
Very fair, very fair. And I think when I looked at your approach early on, you were throwing some outside, trying to get them to lunge. What goes into that approach, right? When you're not. Sometimes when it's a 1-1 count to start, you don't worry about throwing a 2-1 ball because at the end of the day, if it's 2-1, you can still strike the kid out. You don't worry about getting down on the count. What goes into your approach that way? Do you want guys to lunge and you're giving like a bad pitch, the first pitch of the at-bat? Or are you trying to see if they're going to swing at something and pop out? What goes into that?
It's a little bit of everything. I mean, I just see how they approach the plate every single time. And, a lot of guys were crowding the plate and standing up at the plate instead of the mat. When I see that, throw it deep. Then after that, throw it short, throw the knuckleball. They have no idea.
Probably 4 strikeouts, I would say, if I remember right. And you probably had about 9 or 10 swings and misses, I would say. You got it swinging and missing a lot. Was it always the knuckleball? Were you throwing some curveballs in there? Was Dave McKenna just calling a great game behind the dish?
I was trying this little knuckle curve thing. I think I'd pick up some movement from the wind a little bit here and there. But, it was I just tried a few different things, and I knew I could take some liberties with this team. So,
yeah. How much did you like having Dave McKenna behind the plate calling the game? He always calls a great game with you. You guys are a great battery, always. Whatever, no matter who we're playing, no matter what time of the day, rain, shine, doesn't matter. You guys are a great battery.
Oh, for sure. Dave communicates well. He tells me what he thinks, whether I should throw it deep, low, to the right, left, inside. Dave's on top of it, and, it helps.
2 quick questions to end. We'll talk about one, your approach at the plate. I know you weren't that happy with how you did at the dish. Only 3 plate appearances, which was a short game. I think we ended after 4 or 5 innings. I think we only hit 4 times. In the game, though, 0 for 2, sac fly. You hit the ball pretty hard. I know you were a little bit down on your approach at the plate, but you've been hitting the ball very well this season. What was your approach at the plate tonight? Obviously, you had guys on base each time. You were just trying to get sac flies, and you did it.
Yeah.
Did it successfully. You move runners up. I mean, that's the goal, right?
Yeah, I got a little aggressive. I saw they were playing. They left me a pretty huge gap in right center, and I was just eyeballing it and maybe took my eye off the ball a little bit and, ended up popping out. But I was a little aggressive and, tough weather. The ball's not moving much, and I don't know. Left center actually decided to run and make a play on one of my balls.
Yeah, so. He did. He made a nice play, too.
Yeah.
He's one of the only ones that probably made in the outfield tonight as a group. But last question, how important was it to get a win tonight, get back in the win column after 3 losses? 1 or 2 of them, could have gone our way, and they didn't. Improved to 6-9 on the season. How important was it to get a win here tonight?
Oh, very important. This was huge. Last couple games have been a little rough. We were out of it by the 3rd inning sometimes and absolutely getting smoked, couldn't buy it out. And, you can quote danger on that one. But but either way, this was a little slump buster we needed, I think. And, it should be good going forward, and we'll see what happens on Thursday.
Thank you, Steve. Much appreciated. Player of the game here, Steve Abrams here at Faxon Park. You're the man, Steve.
Thanks, Joe.
Here we are, back with the captain, Chris Mad Dog McKenna. An absolute pleasure having you back here on the podcast. Obviously, a big 4th or 5th inning. Let me see. I think it was the 4th inning. We scored 14 runs.
Yep.
And obviously, beginning of the game, we had zeros the first 3 innings. Were you getting nervous with our approach to the plate? A lot of pop-outs, some light ground-outs. I know the rainy conditions weren't great. Yeah. Were you getting a little bit nervous when it was 0-0 after 3?
Well, first things first, Joey. Always good seeing you.
Pleasure.
Yeah. So their pitcher didn't really. I mean, he couldn't find the plate, right? So we were just swinging a junk, right? That's what kind of like why the first 3 innings were just kind of 0-0 or whatever. But then, Steve was dealing too. So I was like, oh god, it's gonna be the lowest scoring game in QMSL history. but yeah, and then we just opened the floodgates. I think their pitcher. This is my theory that he kind of honed in, and once he actually started throwing strikes, we started hitting balls. So it's I love the effort from the boys, and let's go.
You played a great game at the plate yourself. You're talking to everybody else, but you were 3 for 3 with the walk, 2 runs scored, 4 for 4 on base. Great night at the dish. When you look at your approach, sometimes you're taking pitches, which tonight he was a little bit wild, so you might have been taking some But then you were also aggressive too. You might have taken the first pitch in 2 at-bats, and the other ones you swung right away. What went into that approach? You just mixing things up, like the pitch you saw, trying to put the ball in play to move runners up because there were always guys on base.
Softball, like it's so hard to not just grit and rip it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to swing the first pitch every single time, but yeah, I mean, again, like the guy, I took the walk the first innings because he was all over the place, but then when he was putting in the sweet spot, abused the first baseman because he didn't even want to touch that laser beams.
Yeah, no one wanted to play, it seemed like, on the other team. Which
yeah, they were a little defeated. I feel bad for them because they're the new team in the league and they just kind of didn't know what they're getting themselves into, which makes sense. That happens sometimes. But like it would have really, really sucked pond water if we lost to them.
Especially in the fashion we're 0-0 to 3.
It's almost like more pressure, to play like a crap team. Like, oh no,
we got to get the win.
Yeah, exactly.
And proved to 6-9. And then I want to talk about Steve's pitching approach.
Yep.
Probably had 4 or 5 strikeouts tonight. How proud are you, Em, at pitching? Because we've had nights against any team, it doesn't matter who we're playing, we're at 0-0 in the third inning, couple walks, couple errors, and then you're down all of a sudden 3-0. But Steve stayed in control all night. How important was that for this team?
Very important. He's been consistent all year. Not only just at the dish, but like showing up. Because Camp was our backup pitcher. Mm-hmm. But he got a new job, so it's like you kind of need 2 or 3,
He's great tonight, and Camp's also great too when he's here, which we do appreciate. Camp, we wish he was here with us, and we're always thinking of him. He's a big part of this team and a big piece, part of our winning over the years as well. We're lucky to have him on this squad. You look at the defense. I know you weren't happy in the last inning, which I was trying to switch with Sean and go from right field to right center. You had, obviously, Brian go from shortstop to first base, and Mully go from first to short.
Yes, that was an unsanctioned change.
You were not happy. Captain wasn't happy.
It was all right. You guys can mess around for all I care, but as long as we don't, as long as we get out of here.
Mully made a great play at short.
He did.
How impressive was that play? It was a great play at short.
He did.
Hard line drive, one bounce line drive, found it, picked it up, threw it a second, which was obviously great.
Right.
And then you look at that 14-run inning. Were we just being aggressive on the base paths? We were just putting the ball in play. It wasn't like we had necessarily a great piece of contact. We just put the ball in play and then running aggressively. And obviously, you always fire us up and get us going.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're the core of this team.
Feel the rhythm, feel the ride. Get on up. It's softball time. Mm-hmm. Cool runnings. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You're right. No, that's it. I love that. I love that line. They might just stick for the rest of the season. It might be our motto for the rest of the year.
Seriously, let's go.
Which I love. But so now 6-9 on the year.
Yep.
What's our game plan going into Thursday night? Which we have one more game Thursday night. Tough one too against the local 4 team that we've beaten and lost to. We've had our battles with them over the years. Mm-hmm. What's our approach going into that game?
Same. We pretty much almost have the same exact team. Are you in or no?
I'm out. I've classed, sadly.
Okay,
I'm out, sadly. It's unfortunate.
But we basically have the same exact lineup, other than you. I'll probably throw Defro in or somebody who can. Although Travis can't make it either, but
we'll need some guys.
But yeah, no, we'll be all right, and we just kind of buckle down and just feel the rhythm, feel the ride,
I got one more question for you. I love that approach. One last question. Last night, get a text from you saying I'm off the team because I texted you and said, hey, did you send the email chain for the week? Didn't know if you sent it yet. I didn't get it. I wasn't tagged in the email. You sent me one text, and 5 minutes later sent me a follow-up. But that first text was saying, hey, it's been a great run. A little bit disappointed with your production at the plate and commitment. And then 5 minutes later you said, I'm sorry. You're still on the team. Don't worry. I just forgot to tag you. Love you. What went into that? It was a little bit tough. I saw that. I read the text about 20 seconds apart. So that first 20 seconds, I was like, wow, I'm off the squad. What? After 8 years, 9 years. How long have I been? 8 years?
What went into that? I don't know. I
felt like messing with me? Yeah. All right. I get it.
Sometimes that happens, but I love you.
I know you do.
Going nowhere. Trust me.
I know you love throwing me around, which I love. I love being versatile. I love being out there any way you need me in the field. I always say, short, third, second, left field, left center, right field. Like I'm fine wherever you need me.
Yeah,
always.
Always. We need young people. You're the youngest guy, or
Brian and me probably the youngest.
Yeah.
And then Matt's right after.
I'd like to see you guys do an arm wrestling competition just to see who gets to stay on the team.
Yeah, one of us is in, one of us is out. Last question though, before I close. Matt had a great night at the plate. Very productive. Was hit right after me and a few times moved me up, and I went from first to third 2 or 3 times. Obviously, big to have him in the lineup as a lefty. You guys are the only lefties we got, really. Just you two.
Him and I.
You two, and you guys hold it down.
Yeah.
You guys hold it down.
Oh, dude, for whatever reason, whenever Matt's on, we win.
Yeah.
He is the key. So it's he's a crucial part in our lineup. So you just dropped him in there as he does, moving you guys around. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Mad Dog. Anything else you want to close with before Thursday night's game?
Praise the Lord. Let's go.
Let's get the win. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you. Have a great night.